Hello, Ben.
Hello.
Hello. What are we doing?
I should think that's obvious. I don't know. What are we doing?
You tell me. You're the one who's going to title this video.
We're talking about the latest episode of Doctor Who.
Again.
The series finale. Which is
yes,
called...
Empire of Death.
Yes. What did you think on the whole?
I have mixed thoughts.
I thought it was fine.
Sounds like you have mixed thoughts.
Yes, okay. I suppose I do have mixed thoughts.
There we go. Happy days. Why can't you summarise it instead of making some long-winded way of saying fine and then getting it teased out of you with... Honestly, get to the point, man. We're on a time limit here.
I had mixed thoughts.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
I will say, the first thing I wrote down was the bastards killed Kate, but it seemed a bit redundant because then they killed everyone else as well.
Well, when that happened, I immediately knew, okay, this is going to be retconned. This would be a very bold decision. Right. They are definitely retconning it. And then when they killed everybody else, it was like, yes, they're definitely retconning it. We're not having the next few seasons of Doctor Who. Although that would be interesting if the next series was just him, Mel, and Ruby pottering about in the dead universe trying to fix shit. That would be good. That's a season arc.
But is it, if there's fuck all there's fuck all to do? There's nothing to counteract off, is there?
There's a few scattered survivors. That's your story arc. You're travelling to put the pieces together of a plan to fix something. I get that. That could work for me. I'm not massively disappointed that they didn't do it, but it would have been interesting. A couple of takeaways from that scene, actually. I did like when Kate ordered everybody to shoot Sutek, and then it failed, and she went, "Oh, one day." I liked that.
I missed it the first time round. Whilst I was getting the pictures, I noticed that they even gave Lenny a gun on his Segway. Yes.
Unit really gives no shits whatsoever about child safety.
He's 13 years old, for Christ's sake. You know, he's going to take someone's eye out about anything. There was one person who wasn't shooting.
No, it was Rose, who was playing Candy Crush, or checking her emails, presumably controlling the turrets.
God knows.
Which was my assumption.
It could well be.
They're going to need fucking therapy.
I just want to, very quickly, do you think the fact that Lenny's got a Segway is because of his height situation?
Yeah. I don't know.
I didn't mention it last week, but like,
he needs to get to places quickly,
and in the nicest way possible.
He's only got little legs.
Well, yeah, people who have that particular situation going on tend to walk quite slowly, and it's quite an awkward walk, isn't it? So maybe it's a dignity thing. Maybe. I don't know.
Dwarfism, I don't know. I like the guy.
I knew he made the point last week.
He was great on Taskmaster,
Yeah, he was. It was funny. It's considering, he's 13. I don't know how old he was when they filmed that, but,
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, I just thought...
Yes, I did I did just like that line. Kate expresses frustration that one day there'll be a villain where they can just shoot it in the face and be done with it.
Yeah, I mean, why she expected it to fucking work?
I don't know. At some point it's got to, right? Monkeys and typewriters.
I mean, potentially it might take out the little minion Harriet that they had there. But,
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for the most part, I don't really know what to say about this episode. I say I have mixed thoughts, but I think my first summary was sort of apt in its own way. I sort of have no strong feelings either way on this. I'm very much right down the middle. I have some quibbles with some things towards the end. But yeah, it's a strange position where I have very little to say for the most part.
In that case, then I'll lead here.
Yes, please do.
What did you think of the TARDIS? Not the normal TARDIS,
Well,
the TARDIS, the memory TARDIS.
Are you familiar with the memory TARDIS as a thing?
I had heard. See, the thing is, I've not been watching Tales of the TARDIS.
Me neither.
Which is where you're going to go with this, presumably.
Yes.
Yes. I saw the inside of it and thought, that looks very, very familiar to me. Is that because it's the Tales of the TARDIS one? So afterwards, I had a little look, and it is the same TARDIS.
Yes.
So, and the first episode of that was released in the 1st of November 2023, which means that they have been building to this for quite some time. In fact, I watched the first 5 minutes, and they did the whole what is memory if not time travel spiel thing. That Peter Davison, I think it is.
Yes.
Saying it. So, and it's like, well, clearly they haven't been leading to this for...
Well, it's sort of
7 months now.
It strikes me less as a deliberate thing they set out to do right from the get-go, and more of we've got this thing that's incorporated into an episode.
Yeah. Now, interestingly, when I was first having a double check, I wanted to make sure that it was... Not only the one I checked was the most recent one, which is between Shooty and Millie in that TARDIS, and I thought, okay, well, hang on a minute, maybe it looks like that because it's happening at some point, right? Like during this story arc. So I went back, and it is the same one. But the fact that they're having, I didn't watch the whole thing because it's like 70 minutes long, and you only had 20 minutes before you were going to be finished.
Yeah.
But he says to her in the bit that I saw, I fought Sutek before, which means, based on everything we've seen in this episode, that encounter happens partway through this episode.
What encounter? The encounter in the Millie and Shooty and the memory
where
TARDIS clip.
When they're talking about the memory TARDIS thing, the conversation that they have happens partway through this episode.
Based on what again? The reference to Sutek?
Well, the fact that they are both in the memory TARDIS, and he is explaining to her that he has already fought Sutek before, which means that it has to happen after he found out that Sutek was the villain.
You say that, but it's memory, isn't it? That's the whole thing about that little mini-sode.
Well, yeah, but it's a conversation they wouldn't have had until after the end of the last episode.
Yeah, fair. I like the look of the memory TARDIS, to be honest. I like the sort of cluttered, janky. It feels more like a spaceship.
I wrote down
TARDIS.
Hodgepodge TARDIS of Easter eggs.
Yes, I didn't.
Because I saw the Who Won number plate and a few other obvious things.
Yes,
Scarf.
Sylvester McCoy's question mark thing, and I think the ribbon that Bonnie Langford had in her hair.
It was very much a.
And I think the masks from the Girl in the Fireplace were there. I think I saw one.
They had I can't remember what his name. Handles, I think it is.
Yes. I'm familiar with the character. Yeah.
Yeah, and just there were all sorts of things that we will have missed.
Yes, that we don't know enough.
There will be someone.
What's the whistle?
Sorry.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. I was going to ask you. I'm not familiar with it.
Maybe it's a Sylvester McCoy thing. I don't know.
Didn't he have a penny? Who was it who had a slide whistle? Someone had a slide whistle.
Oh, Patrick Troughton had a slide whistle. He had a flute. Patrick Troughton played the flute.
So,
we've got our little gimmicks. And Shooty's gimmick is that he cries.
Yeah.
Yes, I was like, there's 5 or 6 money shots in this episode in particular. Even Ugly cries towards the end.
I feel like when I mentioned it a few episodes ago, you seemed like I was dismissive of that. Or, so you seemed a bit dismissive of it. But yeah, it's very much the series thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I didn't really notice it until too recently. It
needed to be pointed out, and then now you're seeing it all the time it happens, right?
We'll discuss our feelings on the Doctor in a little while, probably in a separate little video we'll do the series recap. I quite like our emotionally intelligent, feelings-orientated Doctor, but again,
I don't have an issue with Dr. Crane, just to be clear.
I know you don't. It's just it is noteworthy that it seems to be something they like having.
I can't think of an episode where he hasn't, but I can't remember everything that happened in every single episode. So
Yes.
Yeah.
What happened next?
Well,
Spoon lady.
Before that, we got the explanation of where Sutek came from in this.
Oh yeah. What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, I just want a bit of clarification from your understanding of it.
Okay.
Has he been hanging on to the TARDIS since Pyramids of Mars?
My understanding was that they thought they banished Sutek in Pyramids of Mars. He clung on to the TARDIS.
In Pyramids of Mars?
Yes, and followed them around ever since. He was in sort of not a weak state, but he hadn't reached his final form, so to speak. And as they were travelling, every time they went somewhere, Susan Tech would pop up, or Susan Triad, or whatever the fuck her name is, would pop up somewhere. And it's only recently that they've started noticing them, because A, Sutek is growing more powerful, and over the hundreds of years that he's been with the Doctor, and B, he got freaked out by Ruby's mother, and has decided to amplify the process or whatever. So yeah,
that seems reasonable to me as an explanation.
Makes
sense.
It
does beg the question.
Yeah,
does beg the question. What was his reaction to Captain Jack hanging on in that three-parter with Utopia and Sound of Drums and that lot?
Good question.
Because there's not a lot of space to hang on to. If anything like it was like when I sent a clip of, we got one of the pictures that I sent you is of him hanging on. There's not an awful lot of space to hang on there. Outside of where he's hanging on.
Yeah, he's like a non-corporeal. I don't fucking know. It's fine.
I don't know. It feels weird.
It
doesn't quite sit right, but I can get on with it.
Yeah, it's more of like it's fine. I buy it. Well, as you know, I insist on watching them at the time they come out.
You do.
Whereas they're on for like 24 hours or so beforehand. So I have spoilers that I have to definitely avoid on Reddit and whatever. That was actually one of the clips I saw a thumbnail for on YouTube. And I did see something about Captain Jack, or something that alluded to Captain Jack and Sutek's reaction to him on Reddit, which I didn't click on it.
Okay.
Which suddenly made me think, oh, does he have a cameo in this episode? That'd be weird. But yes, no, it's a perfectly fine point that you raise. But I suppose Captain Jack could die, and does in fact die if he's the face of Bo, doesn't he? You know, there is death.
Oh, you see,
eventually.
How long did he hang around after the face of Bo supposedly died? Because I mean, it takes Jack a few minutes to come back, doesn't it? So maybe the face of Bo did a whole fake out thing.
And then,
Doc pissed off, and then he came back. It's like, actually, that wasn't as much as I thought.
It does raise a terrible thought that if the face of Bo died from old age, at a certain point, Jack is just dying of old age constantly. You know what I mean? If there is an age limit to this thing that he's got, but that he still can't die.
Thing.
That's a fate worse than death.
Yeah, I suppose it is. Yeah. So yeah, I just thought it was a thing I wanted to.
No, it's.
And I thought from what we saw, it seemed like it was from Pyramids of Mars, and that's what was that? A fourth Doctor?
Yeah.
So that's a hell of a long time.
Yes, and the Doctor is canonically. How old is he now?
Oh, I don't know.
Several thousand.
It's not billions, I know that much.
No, it was 900 odd when David Tennant was
he was roaming around for a few hundred years before, in between seasons with Pat Smith.
We can assume he was probably about 5. I don't know. Let's have a look. You prattle on for a bit.
Oh, I don't really know what to prattle on about. I mean, my guess would be about 2000.
The Doctor's age, right? Let's have a look. First Doctor, Third Doctor.
I suppose it all depends on.
Well, Doctor gave his age of 748 in some prose. He said it was something. Okay, he said it's something like 750 or 749 when he travelled with Sarah Jane. So they're in one of the things they cite as the Pyramids of Mars. So if we jump up to.
Okay.
5,000 year diary. So, Doctor said that she was over 2,000 years old in some audio thing. Yeah, she's. I would say the Doctor is thousands of years old. So the Doctor,
it's
gone to a lot of places, and all the places that the Doctor didn't go, I guess it just sort of seeped over the sides. I didn't quite understand their explanation. It was sort of like on the way.
I figured it was something sort of like drawing lines between places in space and time, and if you're caught in the net of places, you're part of it. Maybe.
Well, that's
I don't know.
my sort of logic is that the lady with the spoon, she was on a planet that the Doctor hadn't been on before, and that's why it was taking a little while longer because it was sort of seeping through.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really like the whole it travels backwards through time thing. It just seemed a bit weird. It didn't sit right with me.
What do you mean?
Well, he got a kid, and then it got her, and there was no dust about.
Well, I think there was some dust in the buggy, in the what do you call it, carrier thing.
Bassinet.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a kid. Yeah, I when I was watching that scene, I sort of thought this sounds like the myths you would make about an event like this, because it explained why her memory was going, because it was killing stuff in the past. I don't know. I can hand wave it, and it makes sense to me.
It seemed a bit,
in some sense.
No. Like I say, it just didn't quite sit right with me. But
that's
again,
fine.
Fuck it, right?
Yeah.
I haven't written much else until the everything gets fixed.
Well, shall we talk about the 73 yards stuff?
Yeah. Oh, that's a bit weird, isn't it?
I don't get it.
Well, what that tells us is that it happened, but it didn't happen.
Right.
Simultaneously, because she remembered enough to know the distance of time. The 66.7 meters is 73 yards, right? She must have remembered it.
Yeah.
But it must have happened, but it didn't happen because it's only a half memory. Like deja vu, maybe.
I don't know. It seemed weird to bring it up without any real resolution to it, you know?
What it does tell us is that the version where she got stuck without the Doctor for a while and all that shit happened was actually, in the grand scheme of things, a better timeline because he wasn't that dangerous a Prime Minister.
Yeah. But he didn't really do anything in this timeline, did he? He wanted to, he got into power, he said, I'm going to nuke everything because fuck it, why not? And then he didn't. And
he got overthrown, didn't he, was what we got told.
Yeah, he made DNA testing compulsory.
That's fine. That seems reasonable to me.
Yeah, I mean, I get why it might seem a bit dystopian, but it seemed... I could be sold on that, just for the purposes of, like... It seems like one of those things that people say is dystopian, but as you say, is actually a good, clever, smart, reasonable thing to do.
In the grand scheme of things...
It's like having a fingerprint
It depends on what gets done with the data.
Well, yeah.
They've got our blood types on file. What's the fucking...
Yeah.
You know, who kicks off about that? They know more about my blood than I do. I don't know what bloody type I am.
No, I don't.
What bloody type I am?
That seems like a... Yeah, it's probably the sensible thing, really.
Also, at the end of the day, it ended up being a plot device for saving the day.
Yes.
Or for setting up the scene for saving the day.
I think that was... lazy, I want to say, is the word I'm sort of groping around for.
Oh, I'm indifferent on it myself, but it ended up being a plot device for saving the day.
It's weird how that tied in with 73 yards in a way that didn't really do anything. It's weird
didn't really explain anything.
Yeah, it's weird how that's the way we could, like, it didn't occur to them to, like, it's just a weird resolution to being able to find anything out, which is weird because UNIT then find out themselves somehow.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, we'll come on to
that. Time window forwards? Is that an option?
Don't fucking know. Maybe. Makes sense. Maybe. I don't know. We'll come on to that, because I do have some thoughts on the Ruby's mother stuff.
Yeah, I was saying.
Okay,
so they stop Sutek.
Yeah. With the dog leash.
And, well, all dogs need to be kept on a leash in this area, came to mind. But what really got me is that they basically just did the same thing they did last time, but made sure it actually happened.
Yeah.
That's it. They didn't come up with a new solution to this threat. They just did the same thing as last time.
Yes, they...
But actually did it.
Thank God. Yeah.
Like, it feels lazy to me.
He'll be back.
Personally.
He'll be back. Well, I prefer. I mean, I'm glad he wasn't running around unit chasing people as a giant dog, but I like conversations, which is something we haven't really got a lot of this season. I don't think. I like those chats with the villain. I sort of, on an intellectual level, I sort of miss that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
And Sutek's sort of a perfect candidate for that.
Especially if he has been around. I say he. We're going to say he for the sake of convenience, right? If he's been around hanging onto the TARDIS for as long as possible, there could have been an opportunity to comment on things that had happened, right? Like a proper commentary on what Sutek has seen.
Yes, which is everything. He saw the licorice monster from
poor Adric.
Yes, he saw Adric get blowed up. Well, crash land on Earth and form a weird cult. According to Big Finish. Yeah, he saw the movie. That would have been good. He saw Sylvester McCoy step out of the TARDIS and then he gets shot by Asian gangsters.
Yeah.
And regenerate into Paul McGann. He saw that.
Saw the Doctor believe that he'd killed all the Time Lords.
Yes. And then he saw that get retconned and probably rolled his fucking eyes and went, oh, for fuck's sake.
Here I was thinking you had some fucking balls, and actually... Trouble is, no, actually, because technically speaking, Sutek saw that 3 times.
What, at the end of the destruction of Gallifrey?
No, the saving of Gallifrey.
All right.
Because 3 Doctors were there with 3 separate TARDISes, and he'd have been hanging on to each and every fucking one of them.
Well, no, he saw it since they all came through, didn't they? All the old Doctors.
Oh, yeah, Jesus. Yes. So he wasn't hanging on to the 1st, 2nd and 3rd.
No, but he was hanging on to the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the War Doctors, the 10th and the 11th and the 12th.
And depending on when in Tom Baker's era he turned up to help.
Well,
with that, it may not have been that one, but we'll assume it is for the sake of convenience.
He must have been so bored.
Oh, not this shit again!
How many Susan texts are there on Gallifrey?
Oh, God knows. How many? It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's ridiculous. Oh, I'll tell you one thing that did come to mind, actually, and it's the most ridiculous thing, and I don't know why.
Why?
But the Midnight Monster died.
Yes, that came to my mind as well, weirdly enough.
How ridiculous!
I have no idea why.
Of all the things!
I was like, oh, Midnight got destroyed.
I don't know why I thought of that.
I don't know why.
We both did. Makes me feel better about it.
Like, oh, whatever that thing was, that got destroyed. I don't know why.
So hang on, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think you know in Parting of the Ways when Rose killed all the Daleks?
Yeah.
Do you think that happened before or after Sutek's dust thing killed them all?
I have no idea what the time frame is for the destruction.
No, me neither.
Thing. Does it happen?
But, it's like maybe if he'd waited, he only had half the work to do.
There was some Susan Triad lady on Satellite 5. There were 2 in various different places.
Yeah. Well, 100 years before the last. Yeah. It's just it's silly, isn't it? It's just a bit silly. I'm
fine with it.
It feels a bit silly. The more I think about it, the less happy I am about it.
Well, I think the whole Susan Triad thing was like, there's a lot of meta stuff going on in this episode, because the whole point of that was to, within the show, it was, the Doctor would take notice of it, it's Susan, and think it's his granddaughter, and therefore get invested and get involved. Yeah. But it's the same for the audience as well, because that was exactly our thinking. Not ours in particular, but other people thinking.
The fan base as a whole, in general. Thought Susan was in some way involved,
which was one of the meta things, and it made sense to me. I liked it well enough that presumably there's a Susan twist on every planet or place the Doctor has ever been since Pyramids of Mars, but it's only recently that he's been encountering them because Sutek's been getting more powerful and has decided to accelerate things. Yeah, okay, buy it, fine. Each and every one of them has turned into a servant and is spreading Sutek's gift of death. Question though.
Yeah, I don't know. Go on.
Does presumably everybody in the universe has experienced turning to dust and coming back and is very confused by the whole thing? That's like the most important thing to ever happen in the history of the universe. This massive cultural moment where everybody sort of died for a bit.
It sort of vaguely reminds me. You see, this is annoying because it's not really that different to the blip. I don't know if you're familiar with the blip.
No.
It's that thing in the Marvel series where Thanos snapped half of the life of the universe away, and then they all came back 5 years later.
Yeah.
It's not really that different to that. And I hadn't thought about it until just now, but
I did see a Reddit post, or when I quickly looked through the reactions to the episode on Reddit, and the snap or the blip or whatever was mentioned.
The more I think about this episode, the less I like it.
It would be interesting to see some sort of commentary on that whole thing, that maybe the Doctor's travelling and religions have formed because of it, or governments have how this changes the perspective of people. I don't fucking know. I don't know. This is the problem when you do something this big, because there are consequences to something like this, and you sort of you can't really brush it under the carpet. You sort of have to. Well, you can. Either you acknowledge it or you don't, and if you don't, it's weird. And if you acknowledge it, you have to shake shit up.
I'm not convinced they're going to shake shit up as much as they.
No, they'll never.
Half the universe got destroyed by the flux thing, right? And that's not really been a thing. That's not really mattered.
Oh well, yeah, but if the universe is as vast as it almost certainly is in the Doctor Who universe, then it doesn't matter.
Oh, I mean, I know, but the point is, it hasn't been made a thing, and it was this big deal.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
he did specifically say he wasn't retconning
it. Because he knew people wanted or were wondering or hoping. Somebody
it would be nice.
I mean, at a certain point, if you don't acknowledge it, you sort of have retconned it, haven't you? Because it's almost like it never really happened. But that's another thing. You could, if that happened, there'd be like political consequences and religious consequences. Like if you were a planet and your economy was based on trading with these other worlds, and suddenly they're gone. What does that do? But that's sort of Star Trek logic, really, isn't it? Doctor Who isn't about that.
Trouble is, funnily enough, we have sort of touched on the idea of this before. Do you remember when they kept having all these invasions happen, the Daleks and the Cybermen thing, and sort of people just sort of chalked it up to some PR stunt or something?
Yeah,
it wasn't that big a deal. It's like people on Earth, at least, they'll just dismiss it as something. They'll find some excuse to dismiss it.
I have a feeling. I don't know. Because then there was the Aliens of London thing with Christopher Eccleston, and it's sort of I don't know whether you've seen the Children of Earth Torchwood series. No, but there's
I've seen bits, but not the whole thing.
There's a scene with the Prime Minister, where the Prime Minister's talking with one of his aides, played by Peter Capaldi, not Malcolm Tucker, and he's mentioning how
hoity-toity fucking.
Mentioning how the world has changed, and how when he was a kid it used to be the Red Scare that everybody was terrified of and speaking about, but now they're coming from the skies, and it's like, oh, this is an important pivotal moment in Earth's history. This is a point of divergence, but you can't really do that, because the further you get away from that, the less like our world it is.
Yeah,
you need, and you have to be able to relate to the world, to the Earth in the Doctor Who universe. So you're sort of stumped there. I don't know how they explain it, but Doctor Who's canon has always been a fucking disaster, which is its luxury.
In the Doctor Who universe, in the Doctor Who universe, that sort of thing is kind of a big deal. For us, it's just Tuesday. No, the other way around. For us, it would be a big deal, but for the Doctor Who universe, it's just Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe people's reactions to the TARDIS. I sort of feel like. It's like an earthquake, it's like a natural disaster, it's like a flood. Just every now and then some alien race will pull some stunts on Earth somewhere. Sometimes it's really big. Sometimes Australia explodes and then magically repairs itself. And sometimes it's very small. It's just like a tower block that's full of, I don't know, fish people for
That's
a week.
When we saw Australia getting engulfed,
yeah,
I thought about Ace.
She in Australia?
Ace. I think she was meant to be Australian, wasn't she?
No.
Why am I thinking she was Australian?
That was Tegan.
Tegan.
Yeah, he went, fuck this, I can't deal with this anymore.
So I should have been thinking about Tegan, but I was thinking about Ace.
Yes.
Fair enough. Well, So yeah, I was thinking about Ace, and I was thinking about the Midnight Monster, and that's it. There were two things that came to mind. I want to know why the focus on the Ood sphere.
It was just a nice reference. That's how I think it was. They were just referencing a planet that we'd seen before. They could have done it a number of times. I don't know enough about Classic Who. They referenced Skaro. They came up.
Yeah, I half expected there to be Skaro's back.
Yeah, I did. I was thinking maybe there was a moment of hesitancy where he was like, should we let Skaro come back? And it was like, no, it's the right thing to do.
Because obviously Mel didn't seem that concerned that the Daleks were all dead.
Well, why would you? Although I suppose if this timeless, powerful enemy. Oh my God, they got even the Daleks. Jesus.
Yes, even Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Does mean the Beatles died as well. Obviously.
They've got a dog. He's now dead.
I like to imagine just piles of sand with shit fake wigs on them.
And nobody cares about Ringo.
No.
Still.
Ringo is still alive and...
No, Just Cloud, don't take us, take Ringo.
Finally, it's time for Ringo's time to shine. It's like the Twilight Zone episode and he knocks over his drum set. It's like, no, there was time now. I could have been the next big thing. No, it's not fair.
So yeah, they did the same thing that they were going to do, Imperial into Mars to stop Sutek. And then everyone came back, remembered it, like you say, sort of remembered it, sort of didn't. Echo, she called it, didn't she?
Vaguely feeling. Although there was still dust, which is weird because when they didn't Cherry say you should dust in here more often, or maybe she's just always complaining. Probably always.
We didn't see her with a cup of tea still, did we?
No.
Poor woman.
Although when Ruby got her cappuccino, she never got that.
No, that's true.
It was waiting for her. She never went for it.
Yeah, she's paid for it. She should get it. But I saw what looks like a blossoming romance. Did you notice it?
Yes.
Yes. Go on.
Well, Kate held the hand of the security officer, who is frankly too young for her, but whatever.
He reached for her hand. They shared a look. I got the clip. I got the picture of it because I wanted to.
Well,
there is a smile on her face.
Yes.
And there's a squeeze of the hand there. Which means that there's definitely something going on there. Whether it's always been going on or whether it's a holy shit, we both just died, let's do this sort of thing. I don't know. But it's still worth, it seems important enough for me to get the pick.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah. So go on.
No, go on.
Alright, it's a very quick one. I haven't really seen it prior to this particular episode, but there was a brief point in there where I found myself having to admit that actually they are kind of hot.
Who is?
Doc and Ruby.
What do you mean?
Like a bit sexy.
I guess.
Like I hadn't. It's been stuff that we've heard, right? And people have commented on the Doctor's look and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there was, that bit when they were in the whatchamacallit, getting the DNA thingy from the future.
Yeah, and they look like ready for action. Action hero sort of setup.
I'm just like, Doctor's got back. Okay. Yeah. And Ruby's got front.
Mm.
And I don't know. I'm not a proud man. I'm happy to admit that at long last it took 9 episodes of them to find they're hot.
There's Mel in a jumper.
Yes, he did seem oddly conservative compared to those two.
Oh,
and if you look, actually, they weren't wearing those clothes before, by the looks of it, which means that there's a wardrobe in there somewhere.
Well, they probably opened a cupboard and a shit ton of stuff.
There's at least a change of clothes.
Tomb Raider cosplay stuff that Ruby get up.
Yeah. It's a bit Tomb Raider, actually.
I speaking of Ruby, I really like Ruby in this episode. And the last one, actually. I didn't mention it, but I forgot to mention it. I like Ruby and the Doctor's relationship in the last episode. I thought it was probably stronger than it's been this entire series, which again we'll talk about.
They spent half the episode together last episode.
I know, but there were a few scenes in the time gate, chamber, window thing.
Well, when he was telling her not to do stuff and she was doing it anyway.
No, well, yeah, a bit, yeah. They had, I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was a scene or two where they had a real connection, I thought, where I sort of got that relationship. We'll come on to that. But, yeah.
Shall we get on to Ruby's mother?
Well, do you want to talk about how... You have any thoughts on how Sutek sort of... What is it? You can't... It multiplies by a negative or something?
Oh, yeah, death cancelling out death.
He double negatives himself.
It just seemed a bit silly again. I was like, I'm not sure that's how that works.
I mean, doesn't he have a choice to like kill or use his power? You can't. It's not like his very presence. I don't know. Because it's very deliberately stated that he was choosing not to kill the Doctor and Ruby.
Yeah.
You know, I don't fucking know. I'm fine with it. Whatever. It's one of those things. Much like a lot of the episode where it was just like, I am fine with this, I guess. Okay.
If you want me to be content with it, we need to stop talking about it so I can stop thinking about it. The more I think about it, the less I'm going to like it.
Fine.
It's just because it seems fine in the moment, right?
Mm.
But then you think, the whole cancelling out thing, I was thinking about it at the time, but I decided to just move on because other shit was happening, right?
Yeah.
But it just, yeah, I mean, fine. 2 minuses, 2 times together do make a plus, but you only if you multiply them. If you take a minus and then you minus something from it, you've still got a minus. You've just made it more minus, right? Mathematically, they have to have multiplied death by death. Death squared minus death squared.
Is this was or whatever it is? Bosmas, Bodmas?
Bodmas. No, yeah. It's just basic maths. It's not.
Okay.
It's not Bodmas. There's no order to things. It doesn't matter what order you do it. It's just if you have -1 and then you
I
-1.
shouldn't have brought it up. I shouldn't have brought it up.
You shouldn't have. If you have -1 and then you -1, you've got -2, haven't you?
Why not?
That's just maths, Ben. Jesus. And then if you've got -1 and you multiply by -1, you get 1. I don't understand why you get 1, but you get 1.
Yes, well, I agree. Yeah, I think it was the weak resolution, I guess. I don't hate it enough to, like, go on a tangent about it. But
I said it earlier. It's what they were going to do last time. They haven't done anything new. They've just actually done it this time.
But I think the issue with retconning a major event like that, which obviously you have to do because you can't continue a series with a dead world for, forever, with a dead universe forever. You could get a season out of it, I'm sure, which again would have been pretty fucking interesting. But you sort of have to retcon it, which means sort of everything that happened in this episode was entirely pointless.
Yeah.
But, yes. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned something that happened in this episode.
Go on.
Or was mentioned. What thing? Well, we got a cultural appropriation reference.
Yes, we did.
I'm surprised you haven't got on your
it.
fucking soapbox about that.
Well, I was curious as to whether it was a comment about the episode or a comment about the assignments.
I didn't even think of it as a comment about the episode, but it definitely was.
Yeah, I mean, it had to be, right?
Yes, it definitely was. It was both.
Yeah, depending on the setting. So within the show, it's a comment about the assignments. Outside of the show, it's a comment about the show itself.
Yeah. I sort of feel it's. Yeah, I mean, when I saw it, I thought it was more of a tongue-in-cheek thing. The Doctor didn't mean it as, that sort of cultural appropriation. That they were just appropriating the culture for the Asirans or whatever. I don't know. I don't care. I'm sure there's a million angry neckbeards out there frantically posting on Reddit or making videos.
Actually,
yes, making videos with thumbnails where they're like screaming.
Culturally appropriate this, BBC.
Picture of a crying Tom Baker.
You do bring me to a point actually. When she asked who they are, the woman and the man with the hair.
Yeah.
Why didn't he just say, "Oh yeah, that was me"?
That was me and Sarah Jane off of Sarah Jane Adventures. Do you not remember K9 and Company, Ruby?
Oh, K9 was mounted on the wall. Memory TARDIS as well. I saw that.
Oh right.
It's a bit morbid, actually.
Yeah, it is.
just
I didn't see that, but that is pretty fucking morbid.
I'm pretty sure it was a K9 head. I don't know if it's not in the picture that I got. Sadly. I would tell you what though, the spacesuit from Impossible Planet is on there. That's interesting.
Yes.
You got a little jukebox.
Is it
in the back?
I can't see it. Where is it?
Yeah, on the right hand side. Right hand side.
Yeah, that's sort of where I'm looking. Yeah, that.
You know where the blanket is, just to the right of it.
Sort of behind the blanket, the sort of orangey, fabricy thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
No, so it is. Yeah, it looks like a window, a porthole type thing, or a lid for something. But yeah, that's the neck, and that attaches to the helmet.
Yeah, got a jukebox and the medal at the top. Yeah. No. Anyway. See, that's the thing. There will be people who are analysing every fucking frame of that.
Oh, definitely.
And I have not got the patience. I did see a little toy tank as well, actually. I don't know if that's
these are all probably references to classic Who episodes that we won't get.
Yeah, and that's fair enough.
Which is fine. Yeah. Let me think. Oh, you know what didn't come up?
What's that?
You know when the Doctor was scanning Ruby fucking ages ago in Space Babies, I think. Turns out that was fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, you're human. She's human. There's nothing special about her.
Yeah.
But then that kind of did come to a head. At the same time.
I guess. Mel died and then came back, which was treated with more gravity than the other deaths, which made me think it was a permanent thing. But it wasn't. No.
Although Dead Mel did get knocked aside by the TARDIS with quite some force.
Yes.
The TARDIS has suddenly got this thruster rocket in it.
Yeah.
That I'm assuming eviscerated or disintegrated.
And it reminded me of the heart of the TARDIS.
Yeah, a little bit. I saw it and I thought, that's a bit Dalek-y.
Yeah,
it's the shape of it. Looked a bit.
Well, I remember in that scene that the TARDIS is a living thing. Because they grow them, don't they?
Yeah.
Like a coral.
Oh, actually, that's a point. When we first saw the whistle, I thought, is that going to be like a dog whistle?
Oh, Christ!
Because Sutex was in a sort of jackety form, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, in a sort of way, it was very much a sort of dog whistle thing, but for the TARDIS itself.
Yeah.
Which again seems a bit. But no, it wasn't quite how I was expecting. I just thought there'd be some sort of blow it, and Sutek would be like, "Oh no, my ears!"
I feel like that's probably something that was I feel like it might have been a classic Who thing.
Oh God knows.
Where somebody used one of the Doctors had a whistle that he could blow, and the TARDIS would show up. I don't know. That seems like a thing.
Well, I mean, it was only in the library that he found out that he could snap his fingers for the doors.
Yeah.
It seems a bit weird that he'd have had a whistle that he could blow to summon it.
I don't
Personally,
know. Maybe
you did.
I don't know. Maybe it's the sort of thing that works for one incarnation and doesn't work for another.
Maybe it's a special Gallifreyan whistle.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't know.
It's weird.
Yeah.
If by any chance you are watching this video or listening, you know what's going on there, let us know in the comment section below, please.
Yeah, please do. And also explain 73 yards if you can. Although I know, because I've seen it in Reddit, it's just annoying that it's not on the episode itself. But anyway...
I recommend that you check out Who Culture, because they do an ups and downs for each episode. There are things they like and the things they don't like. And they might mention something. They might be like, oh, it's nice to see the whistle back from John Pertwee's fourth episode, 17 seconds in, where he blows a whistle and the TARDIS goes, hello!
Remember John Pertwee's classic whistle? One of those episodes, and every time we blew it, the Brigadier would go, oh, you
pesky rascal.
Yes. Although, well, he couldn't have had it, because famously the TARDIS was out of commission for a lot of the Pertwee
episodes. It was in the glove box.
Yes.
In the glove box of a car.
Of the Who-mobile.
Yeah.
I remember the Who-mobile. Why did that make an appearance?
Well, it could well have... I saw someone suggesting that maybe that was what was in Unit's secret room, where they had the blast from the past or something. That I mentioned. Obviously, it was a time window technology, right? It was a sort of thing that better into. But
I want to see the Who-mobile make a comeback. I want to see a drunk doctor joyriding in the Who-mobile.
Ruby said she'd travel with me forever.
They never do. So yeah, should we do the Ruby stuff?
Yeah, go on then. Okay, so first off, hooray for teenage pregnancy.
Yeah,
maybe.
See I thought they said, she was 15, and then they mentioned, her stepfather was troubled.
Oh god, yeah, I thought.
My first thought was, okay, shit.
Yeah, this is bad.
No, it turns out it was just another kid. Yeah. Nice to see cloaks as popular with 15-year-olds as ever.
I mean, she looked far too tall to be a 15-year-old.
I don't know. The whole thing about this, the whole Ruby's mum was just a normal woman, but our expectations have turned her into something mysterious. I like on a conceptual level. I like that idea.
If you big something up enough in your mind, it sort of becomes a legend of itself.
Yes, again, as I was saying earlier with the meta stuff, it's another example of meta stuff because everybody's like, oh, who's Ruby's mother? Who's Ruby's mother? And it's just a normal woman. And we've been saying for fucking ages that we hate when companions are inherently important.
Yeah.
So I like that it's just a woman. And I like to have the rug pulled out from under me by a writer because I think it's a pretty brave thing to do. But I sort of don't. The execution doesn't really work for me because I'm a bit confused about why. What's the sort of explanation behind it? Okay, we were bigging it up, but why couldn't we see her face?
Why couldn't Sutek see her face?
Why was it snowing?
A lot of stuff doesn't quite sit right, does it?
You just need to make that link for me, and I'm pretty easy. I'll buy a lot of.
You will. There's a lot of stuff where I've said if I think about it more, I'll dislike it. And you're like, yeah, I can live with it.
Yes. You have given me an explanation. Okay, fine, whatever, makes sense. Let's move on. Yeah. I don't need much. I really don't.
You really don't. You don't.
No, it's one of my superpowers. I can suspend my disbelief twice as much as the average man.
I have got one point about the scene. You know how she was pointing to the sign? And this whole big deal about how Ruby's mother actually named her because she pointed. Who saw that? Who fucking saw that?
Why?
Who saw her point at the sign?
Also, why is she pointing at the sign? It's like, that's what I'll name her. So, also, it was a whole big deal. Like, I wasn't just named after the road where I was found randomly. My mother did it. Well, your mother named you after the road randomly, or maybe she intentionally chose that road. I don't fucking know.
Why does it make her feel better?
I don't know. There's a crumb of an idea in there which I think is rather nice and rather sweet. Like, it wasn't just that I was named after the street I was found. It was a significant name. It mattered, and that's sweet. But it wasn't. I guess I don't fucking know. I don't know. I don't like that bit.
I don't like it either. At all.
It doesn't. it doesn't make it's a way of playing into the overall theme of that entire thing, which is setting up a mystery that doesn't exist. Which again, I'm fine with, and I actually quite like, which is probably not the consensus from what I've seen.
I've not seen anything, so.
But I think it doesn't, as you say. Why is she pointing at the side? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Within the context of it, it's not even really a mystery. It doesn't work.
Yes, there's no reason for that character to do that thing.
No.
You know, you'd say, okay, if she was just stopping and looking, you know, and taking a moment and appreciating the sort of not irony, but the symbolism of, oh, I've abandoned her on the same road as her name. You know, that I'd get. But like pointing at it like Donald Sutherland in Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Why?
Nice name drop there.
Thank you. Rest in peace. I like Citizen X. I didn't mention that in our video.
No, it's beat our record, so. It's like our records. It's beat your record for most.
Oh, lovely! It's nice that Incest Gate has finally been toppled.
Yeah. Well, it's the best day for something. I don't know if it's actually got more views than that.
Well, even so, it's nice to see.
But like, no 15-year-old in 2004 conducted themselves like.
No.
It's just, I don't care what you say. It didn't happen. It's bullshit.
No, I didn't even conduct myself like that, and I was a right weirdo. You
were 9, 10.
Yeah,
you'd have been 10.
When I was 15, I wouldn't have conducted myself like that.
No. It's just, it's bullshit. Sorry, but it's bullshit. It doesn't. It's no.
Yeah.
Sorry, but no. Oh God, when we were 15, Christmas Day 15, it was the penultimate episode of David Tennant.
Gosh.
Because that was 2009, wasn't it? His last one. His penultimate one. And then the last one was Christmas
It was, yeah.
Oh, Christ.
We're old, man. We're fucking old. That was half our life ago.
That's scary, isn't it? Actually, that's the point. Someone mentioned... I saw something earlier and they mentioned Heaven Sent, which I talk about as being one of my favourite episodes.
I've heard very good things about it, yeah.
And they said it was 9 years ago, and I thought, fuck off, was it 9 years ago? When I was putting my bed together, I had some stuff on in the background, and it was talking about that. I was like, fuck off, is that 9 years ago? How the hell is that 9 years ago? It's only been like 3 seasons.
I have been a bit of a tangent with aging and everything, but I have caught myself on a couple of occasions just breathing in just a regular moment at work or whatever, and thinking this is a finite moment in time that will never exist again and will one day be, fall into eternity. The finite nature of things is hitting me more since I've turned 30. So, death comes to all things. But anyway...
God, you're depressing.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. It's only going to get worse, I think. Take a moment and smell the flowers. Do something nice. Small little things. Life is full of little joys.
Can we get back on topic?
Yes. So, yeah, I don't mind the fact that Ruby's mum is just a woman.
No, and that's inherently fine to me. So some of the mystery stuff that happened for the sake of mystery doesn't really work for me.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. Specifically the pointy thing, and it wasn't quite explaining the whole. Why was it snowing? I don't know. Why we just give me a reason why. Be like, oh, okay, it was. I don't even know how you would explain that. To be honest, I honestly don't. There is no explanation.
No,
there isn't.
No.
That's a real flaw.
It is. It is a flaw. It's a big flaw.
It is. It is. That's a problem.
The whole reunion thing. Fine in principle, but something about it made me feel a bit uncomfortable, and I don't really know why.
I was expecting a Davina McCall reunion. Can we quickly go back to the DNA test where they found the mother, which was surprisingly easy?
Yeah, go on then.
Were they having a pizza party?
Oh yeah, because Lenny had pizza, didn't he?
Yes. Did they get pizza in? Also,
sorry,
just doubling back again, it transpires have points I want to mention. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned how the Doctor got back into unit headquarters after that's like ground zero.
What, you mean when he got teleported by Sutek?
No, at the beginning, when he and Mel were on the moped, and they got back to the time window.
Oh, moped.
Okay, there was probably like an underground entrance. Well, a ground floor entrance.
There'll be something, somewhere. Yeah. I mean, it seemed a bit quick, but it was only like a mile away.
All right, fine with it. Yes.
Well, they mentioned it was only about a mile away, didn't they, in the first one?
Yeah.
Although I will point out that all these people in all these vehicles, I know it's London, but like I don't care what happens. If you're trying to escape a dust cloud and you're on a bus, you just drive the fucking bus.
You can't drive it through a crowd. But also, do they?
Who fucking cares? This dust cloud is killing everything.
Do you know?
Who cares about a bit of collateral damage?
Do you know it's killing everything?
Well, why are they running from it?
Because that's just what you do.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
If you're inside a vehicle and this dust cloud is happening, you just sit in the vehicle, wouldn't you? Why would you go out into it unless you thought it was some way dangerous to you?
That's stupid human nature, isn't it? Something you don't understand. Oh fuck! I'm scared. Run away. Fight or flight.
What I wanted from that, I wanted someone to get their window down, see what was going on, roll it back up again.
Yes.
And I mean actually roll it back up, not one of these newfangled electric ones.
Yeah.
You know, just look. Okay, fine. Someone just being a little bit sensible about that fucking situation. Yes, fine. They would have died, but if they didn't know it was killing them, then why does it matter? And if they did know it was killing them, why the fuck were they getting out and running?
Well, I would counter that's just what you do. I mean, my instinct would be to think, oh, that's a weird place for a sandstorm. It's a weird natural event that's happening. Maybe some building collapsed somewhere. You know, I'd probably just step inside.
Christ, they never get the weather right, do they?
Yeah, Buddy Michael.
No, I don't know.
Yes. Speaking of the reunion scene.
Yeah, like I say, it made me a little uncomfortable, but I can't really work out why. I think
maybe it was the fact you were I don't know. I was sort of anticipating her to go, "Oh no, I can't do this," and just left. Or maybe you have no right to approach me like this. This is
I mean there was a glimpse of it. Yeah.
I mean the doctor did say she hasn't reached out. And it was nice, but I did notice that Ruby's real mum, i.e. the one who fucking raised her and didn't abandon her at a church, was looking a bit uncomfortable with Ruby's mum. Like she was like not feeling threatened, but wasn't pleased with this woman who had abandoned her child and made zero fucking attempt to get in touch.
Well, I mean, realistically, Ruby's going to trade her in for a younger model, isn't she?
No, Ruby's good. She's a good.
Well, she's got 3 mother figures in her life now, isn't she? So
yeah,
Well,
that's great. You've got 2 to spare.
Yeah. Well, one's probably going to die soon anyway.
No, nah, Sherry's in it for the long haul. I wish we got enough. I keep calling her Sherry. It's Cherry.
Yeah, it's Cherry.
I wish we got more of Cherry. She was great.
Well, she died.
Yes, in the arms of Anita Dobson.
Yeah, I mean, it was worse place to go, I suppose.
Yes,
but
it is.
Anita Dobson has been being a bit weird.
Yeah, she has. I just wanted to say anyone can fall in love. That's all I want. But she never will.
No, she won't. We'd like a lot of things, wouldn't we, Ben? But sadly, they're not going to happen.
Say the line. Say the line.
Shall we go on to her?
Well, to my mind, there's only really 2 things left. It's Ruby going and Mrs. Flood looking like something out of a Marks and Spencer's Christmas advert.
I've got something
Mary
on that.
Poppins.
But before you do, the fact that I suggested a couple of weeks back that with the woman from Boom being in the next season, maybe that means that Ruby's not going to be the main companion. And
yes.
I know we're meant to be having a Christmas episode, right? I suppose. So maybe she'll come back then. But at the moment, it does look like she's not going to be around in the next season.
Yes, and I remember shooting you down when you mentioned that and saying, she's definitely in the next season. And I thought as I watched this, like, oh, okay, I was sort of taken aback by the fact that she's not in the next one, because I'm sure I read somewhere that there's one more season with her in it. Apparently not, and I hope she'll pop up. She'll probably get a job at UNIT doing.
Well, she might be
procurement or whatever.
It's possible he's going to disappear for a bit, let her have some time at home, and then come back and pick her up. Right?
Maybe that would be novel.
We don't know.
That'd be a first, wouldn't it?
Well, no, I mean it happened with Amy and Rory, didn't it?
Yeah, but like not without a season in between.
Oh, well, fair point.
You know,
but I mean, who knows? Who knows? But yeah. We'll have to see. Maybe, like I say, a Christmas episode if we are getting a Christmas episode, which I feel like we should do.
We are. It's called Joy to the World. It's written by Stephen.
It might happen. It might happen then.
Why isn't he taking Bonnie Langford with him? Why not? Just take Mel with you. She's game for it.
She's got jobs to do.
Is she?
Oh, yeah, she works at Unit, doesn't she?
Oh, so what? Every fucker works at Unit.
Even Susan Triad now, it seems.
Yeah, she's probably...
Not the tea lady.
No. Although she was, ironically, a tea lady.
Well, yeah, that's true. 2 crowns.
Yes, she's probably an associate status now. You know, that could be useful.
Possibly.
Ironic, in a way.
Yeah.
Yes, but goodbye, Ruby. I liked her. I did. I liked her as a companion. I wish, again, we'll come on to it, but I'd like there to have been more moments between the two of them, more filler episodes like Rogue. But we didn't get that. But I liked her. I did.
I was thinking, to be honest with you, earlier on, that most of this season felt like the mid-season filler episodes to me. The ones where the quality slips, but you sort of normally get over it because you've got the better episodes surrounding them.
What, like you'll fear her or your love and monsters type thing? That
sort of thing. You can afford to have it be a little bit
42. Less. I know what you mean. It's like the episode.
I like 42, but yeah.
Well, I like the idea for it, but I don't know. It's one of those ones I don't think I've seen. I think I saw it once when it came out. And
it's probably my favourite Chibnall, but that doesn't mean a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I sort of feel like your 73 yards is. Look, well, let's do this in a separate video because we're going to have a lot of thoughts. But yeah,
Mrs. Flood then.
Yes. Yeah. Goodbye, Ruby. You were good. Could have been better.
Maybe goodbye.
Yes. Enjoy the autograph booth at Comic-Con this year. Yes, Mrs. Flood.
And every year.
Yeah. Yeah.
For life.
Yes,
you'll be 80 years old and
yes,
there's probably pictures of you as a 19-year-old you'll be signing still.
That's the good thing about being in Doctor Who. You can cash the fuck in the long haul. Yeah. You're in it. Yeah. That's your pension, love.
£15 a photo.
Yes. Yes. You can do group one.
25 if you want it signing.
Yes, you can do your panels as well.
I remember when I was in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
66.7 metres.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Mrs. Flood.
Yes.
First off, so you mentioned the Marks and Spencer's advert. My first thought was "Stay Another Day" by East 17.
You are not wrong.
No, I'm hoping at this point you'll have the picture of that up because I did it deliberately.
I'm looking at it now. I've been looking at it since we started. Well, for a while now. Yeah. I was sort of expecting it to fly off like Mary Poppins. That whole thing was a bit storybook.
It was very storybook. I don't really know what's going on there. I'm a bit disappointed we haven't had an answer, but clearly that's going to be a future thing or a not at all thing.
I'm fine with that.
Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's nothing at all. Maybe
it's definitely not nothing at all. If they just never mention Mrs. Flood ever again.
Well, no. Maybe they do mention it again, and it's another non-mystery.
I hope not. I hope this is the
this
only
is one that needs
mystery.
A thing.
Yes, give
us a resolution. Yeah, that matters.
Give us something interesting. But honestly, I think just very quickly going back to that. I know I'm the only person in the world who probably likes that whole conceptual. A mystery is not a mystery. It's just one big red herring that everybody sort of expects to amount to something, and it's nothing. I really like that, and I like that it's a good twist sort of thing on. The whole Torchwood and Harold Saxon and all the other stuff that Russell T Davies became known for. So I like it and I respect that decision. Big thumbs up. Don't like the execution. I think we've done that to death now. Back to Mrs. Flood.
Oh, we've done it to death before you went back to it.
I know. Sorry, it only occurred to me that
Jesus.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
What did she say when she Okay, so she had the thing where it's like, do you pray? Do you believe in the power of prayer? And she's like, yes, of course I do. I'm always praying for a cup of tea, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You've got to around here, haven't you?
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Go on.
Yes. I hope she does well. I hope she does well on the convention scene as well.
Mrs. Cherry.
Yeah, she's going to get so many boxes of tea bags. I just know it.
Yeah. Yorkshire or Tetley?
Yes,
Twinings, I'll have you know.
See, yes, it'll be one of those things where the actress is like proper RADA, receives pronunciation, illustrious theatre career behind her. Anyway, what did she say after? She said, "When you meet your maker, tell him."
I'm going to. I know what I can't remember, but something about she's going to claim his kingdom or something.
Something about a golden door or something. I don't know. Golden gate. I don't know. That. It was some generic mystical bullshit that will probably amount to something in a year.
I had such plans, she said.
Yes, she did. She did have plans. Yes.
Don't know what, but we all want to do a lot of things, don't we, Ben?
And then Sutek fucking ruined it. That must have been annoying.
But then it got unruined by that clever boy.
Is that what she called him?
She called him the clever boy, yes.
Yes, I thought
a few times.
What did I think she called him? Did I think she called him my lovely boy or something? Or
it might have been a lovely clever boy or something like that. But she definitely called him a clever boy. Might have had a lovely in there. I heard it like 4 or 5 times because of getting the clip.
People have been saying that she's Clara. I hope she isn't. People have been saying she's River Song. I hope she isn't. I don't think she's Susan.
Well, she can't be River Song because River Song died. Younger than that.
Yeah.
Right, I don't care what anyone says. Don't fuck with that canon.
Well, yeah, we are getting. I mean, the whole Mrs. Flood thing has led people to think it's a River Song. I hope it isn't. I really hope it isn't.
It better not be.
I hope it's nobody we know, and I hope it's not somebody from the Pantheon. I don't know. See, I like.
Do you know anyone who's connected to Penzance?
Pirates of Penzance?
Anyone in Doctor Who is connected to Penzance. And there is a point to this.
What do you mean, Penzance?
Penzance, the place in Cornwall. Presumably Cornwall, because I mean Barcelona is also a planet.
No, is that where 73 Yards was? No, that was Wales, wasn't it?
That was Wales. The reason I say it is because her suitcase, briefcase thing that she was carrying had a Penzance sticker on it.
Huh.
Which seems like, it's not the kind of thing you put on there unless it's either just a random thing to make it look like it's travelled or it's relevant, right?
Yeah, my inclination would be that it was a random travel thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I'm happy to accept that it might be, but I wondered if you knew anything about Penzance.
No.
I mean, I've been to Penzance, but it's not like there's some massive Doctor Who exhibit there.
No.
You know.
Hang on. Penzance Doctor Who. So.
East 17 went once the performance was Stay Another Day there.
It was filmed. There is an exhibit.
Is there?
Yeah, Doctor Who.
Jesus Christ, I was taking a piss.
Doctor Who Up Close in Land's End was one of numerous exhibitions under the Doctor Who Up Close title. It opened 2007, closed in 2011.
There's quite a bit of a distance between Land's End and...
Yeah.
It's quite a few miles. Like 30, 40.
But Penzance, it's like Timbuktu, isn't it? It's one of those places that sounds fake. You know?
I mean, I've been there. It's lovely.
I know.
In fact, you can see it from where I proposed.
All right.
Yeah. That went well.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did that work out for you? But I won't. That's rubbing salt in a wound.
Yeah, I've actually got a wound today as well.
Oh, have you? So putting your bed together.
Yeah, I accidentally took a bit of skin off my hand. My palm of my hand as well. From how I was holding a screwdriver. So, yeah, that was fun.
Well,
if I had another one, it'd be a stigmata.
Yeah, I was sort of hoping Mrs. Flood would float off like Mary Poppins. I don't know why she's got an umbrella or a parasol or whatever. Or
why she looks like the fellas from East 17.
But it's clear she had a plan.
something's going on.
She was gonna do something, and then Sutek got in the way, and then she thought, you know what, I'll put a pin in this, and I'll pick it up in a bit.
Is that ring relevant, or does that just say flood? There's something on those rings. Maybe it just says flood.
Looks like a PRZOOI to me.
Again, there's got to be some point to that, right?
I mean, yeah, you don't just.
I mean, I'm inclined to think it says flood, personally.
Hang on.
I don't know. Either way.
Oh, apparently Romana wore a costume very similar.
Did she?
Yes.
Oh, great. So that's
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with Romana.
We're supposed to think it's Romana, are we?
I don't think so.
No. We're supposed to think it's Romana. It won't actually be Romana.
Well, maybe. Yeah, the only mention of the ring in this is speculation that she might be married because she's wearing a gold ring on her ring finger.
She's wearing 4 of them by the looks of it.
Also, the Canadian flag is on there too.
Canadian flag?
Apparently.
What, on the briefcase? On the suitcase thing?
Mm.
Oh, I didn't see that. Maybe I was too busy trying to make out whether it actually said Penzance or not.
Apparently Tom Baker was married to Layla Ward, who played Romana. I never knew that. Isn't...
Mm.
Check.
We're getting sidetracked.
Oh, she was married to Richard Dawkins as well until 2016. And now she's married to...
We're getting sidetracked.
That's a bit awkward. They had a... Nick Rawlins and Richard Hawkins did an evening conversation discussion. And Layla Ward was hosting... That's fucking weird. Okay, they must have parted on good terms. Anyway...
We're getting distracted.
Yes. So apparently the Doctor story is going to end in absolute terror. Which was...
Everyone's story ends in absolute terror.
Maybe that's just her hope. I don't know. Maybe she's the narrator. I like breaking the fourth wall. I think that's fun. I don't know. I feel a letdown coming.
Yeah, almost certainly.
I don't know. I think... yeah. I would have liked it to be Susan. I hope we get a Susan roaring rampage of revenge one day. I've sort of married myself to that idea, but yes. So what did you think of this part of the episode, and I guess the episode two-parter as a whole? Anything else to say?
Nothing that I haven't already said.
Okay. So what did you think of it as a whole?
The more I think about it, the less I like it. But it was okay. If I think more about it, I'll dislike it.
That's basically where I fall as well. I really like the twist that wasn't a twist. I just don't like the execution, which I thought was shit and had nothing to it. I didn't understand it. I'd
say it's probably Russell's weakest season finale.
Yes, I like the first part a lot.
Yeah,
but I always do like the first part as well. Tend to, some of my favourite scenes in all of Doctor Who are the last 5 minutes of a first part Doctor Who episode.
There's something like a cliffhanger there, but the issue is that you have to stick for landing, and I don't feel like
that's the thing. Sometimes it's difficult,
But I would say the way it's ended hasn't detracted from the previous episode.
No, it's been
for me.
It's been fine. Yeah. And I'm going to miss Ruby, which, is a testament
to... You might not need to! What are you playing at, boy?
He'll probably...
We don't know!
Pop back, but yes, nice scene. But yes, anyway, we'll be back in a minute where we'll talk about our thoughts on the season as a whole.
Bye.
Bye.